All right. Well, hey, good afternoon, traders. Welcome to followmetrades.com, our webinar this afternoon, where I'm going to talk about scanning for trades and confirming good trade ideas and using some tools, demonstrate some tools that I use. So glad to have you here. And it looks like there's still some more folks logging in. Good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are. But make sure you can locate the chat window on the Zoom webinar platform here. You should see a little toolbar with some icons on it. If you don't see it, you mouse over a little meeting ID thing. And you should see a chat bubble. So make sure you can bring that up and that you can type in your questions or comments, because I definitely want to make this interactive and answer any questions that you have as we go here. And a couple folks typing in their greetings. Hey, Paul, Al, Marilyn, hey, Theo, Mitch. Good to have you here. And it does look like more folks are logging in. So I expect this to be a shorter than usual webinar. You know, a lot of them run 45 minutes to an hour. I think we're going to get through some good material here, maybe in about 30 minutes. But I'll try to go fast, but you know, be thorough and give good explanations, and of course answer any questions that you have. Hey, it looks like more folks are typing in greetings. Hey, RJ, Michael, Russell, howdy, Bob. And Theo says, what are you going to learn today? Well, we're going to talk about scanning for trades, how to find trades. You know, there's so many candidates out there. I'm going to show some techniques I use to narrow the universe down to a handful of trades. Hey, Jared, Alexandre, Daniel. Yeah. All right. So it looks like more folks are still logging in, but let's go ahead and get started because you're here on time and I want to honor your time. So, you know, finding great trades, you know, if you're trading stocks and ETFs, right, there's thousands of them. There's over 8,000 publicly listed stocks, and then you got ETFs. And, you know, even if you're trading futures or Forex, right, you typically have a list of things, and going through, you know, dozens, hundreds, thousands of charts just isn't practical. So we need some kind of way to narrow it down to go find good trade candidates. So, you know, I say finding great trades can be like a needle in a haystack. But let's try and make that a little bit easier. Let's see if we can find some good trade ideas today. So the market just closed. I've ran a couple routines here on the software, so I have no idea what it's going to find. But I got to show you something. You're going to love this, I hope. All right. Theo saying, does this scanning work for Forex and crypto? You bet. Any symbol that has, you know, it could be charted with an open, high, low, close, and volume. Absolutely. And I'll demonstrate it on Forex and futures, as well as, you know, I primarily trade stock and options, but I'll demonstrate it on other instruments as well. So if you're into Forex, crypto, whatever, I think you'll get something out of it. All right, so I was practicing this afternoon because I was going to be doing this webinar, this presentation. I wanted to make sure I had everything down, could do it smoothly, and, you know, explain it well. And so I was a couple hours ago, I was just running through a couple scans, and I found a great trade candidate, which is the whole objective, right? And so I wanted to. It's unbelievable. You know, sometimes when you're going to do a demo, it just falls apart, right? You don't find anything, doesn't go very well. And sometimes it goes really, really well. And so I'll talk more about this this radar screen and what I'm doing here with the various information. But I was looking at the pharmaceutical and bio sector here with my scanning tools. Because, you know, if you've been watching the market, healthcare, biotech, pharmaceutical, they got beat down last week, and it was actually awesome. I gotta thank Bernie and crew for their Medicare for All talk, because it beat the sector down, and we got some stunning home run wins on some shorting some healthcare. We shorted UTHR, HCA, XLV, and did real well on it. But anyway, I was going, hey, maybe, you know, that is over and a little overblown, and maybe this thing's going to come back. So, you know, when you're looking for great trades, having some kind of thesis, having some area of the market to go focus on is helpful to narrow it down. But even then, with this pharmaceutical and bio list, I got this from the TradeStation sector list. There's still 110 stocks. I'm not going to go look at 110 charts. But what I can do is sort and filter. And so most of you probably know me. And just real quick to bring up a chart. All right, let me grab this chart over here. So I'm using TradeStation, and the techniques I'm going to talk about here can be used on any trading platform. It's not unique to TradeStation. So this is XPO. This is a long trade that we took about 2 weeks ago, and it's been doing really, really well. I had a great day today. But if you've seen my webinars, been in my trading room, I use the ART system from Traders Coach, right? So these red pyramids, green pyramids are pyramid trading points. You see I've got the owl on here, and I use the other indicators as well, okay? So what's cool is Traders Coach has a tool that you can put on, in TradeStation, it's radar screen. Other platforms call it something else, but it's basically a table, right, with cells where you can load indicators. And so Traders Coach has this thing called a trade confirmer, where they take their different signals, the owl, the PTF, the trendline master, and it will kind of aggregate those results. So if all three of these are bullish, it will say, hey, that's confirmed as a pretty high probability bullish trade. And so I loaded this list, and I said, well, let me just sort. And here's all the bearish candidates that are grouped, and here's all the bullish candidates that are grouped. And remember, my thesis was, I wonder if the sector is a little, I hate the term oversold. Doesn't make any sense, right? But if it's going to rebound, maybe there's some candidates that would be coming back up pretty quick. And so these ones here, this is a list of what? 8 symbols in this sector of 110 symbols that was quickly identified just by sorting that these have very strong bullish signals, and there's a good chance they would have some bullish setup. So, I go look at, now I can go look at a small number of charts. And, I've traded Curus just recently. We did well on that. And I was looking here, and I saw this stock, and it's SNSS. Now, it's a low-priced stock. It's $1.47. Now, I don't mind a low-priced stock. I don't trade penny stocks, and I want to make sure there's a good float and there's good daily liquidity. But this thing trades, 1 million shares a day, so it was good. And so I saw, wow, this thing has got bullish signals, right? And I use moving averages in my trading. And this column right here is an indicator I've written that tells me how many days since this price on this chart has crossed over the 200-day moving average, and is it above it or below it, and how far away from it is it, right? You see, so it just recently crossed. And then I also use Ichimoku Cloud. So on this SSNS, you can see it's above the cloud, just newly above the Ichimoku Cloud. So I can take the trade confirmer from Traders Coach and combine it with other indicators that I care about and use, and just see if things stack up. And so this one really caught my eye, this SSNS. So I go, well, let's go look at it on a chart. And so I got this table linked to my chart. I click on the symbol, and what I saw here on SSNS is a pattern I really, really like. And so you can see SSNS, which is a small SunEssence Pharmaceuticals. I don't know if I said it right or not. This thing used to trade up at almost $8, got beat down to sub $1, channeled, and then had this breakout. So that is a super interesting thing. It looks to me like a big retracement is beginning. And I can see, so you can see this, I got the ART signals, and RJ's asking where those come from again. They're from traderscoach.com. So they're an indicator that is, you buy from Traders Coach. And so I've had a long relationship with Traders Coach. They're great folks, and their products are awesome. So anyway, on this SNSS, I saw this, again, this channel at the bottom after a big move down, and then this breakout, and then a pullback. And you can see I'm using the Ichimoku Cloud. I configure it a little differently than the standard. but it's this green shaded area, right? So this thing broke out, pulled down to the bottom of the cloud, found support, and reversed up. And I said, man, that looks really good. And I was doing this about 2 hours ago, and I said, you know what? This trade meets all of my criteria. I'm going to go ahead and take this trade. And so I actually put this trade on and then sent out an alert to my subscribers. And no kidding, I really did. At 11:15, sent this alert out, and we got into it at $1.29. It was down a little bit on the day, and all of a sudden, that thing took off like a rocket and ended up 15%. And we are in 16% profit on this trade in 2 hours. So this position was sized based on risk management formulas for a $50,000 account. So $50,000 account in 2 hours made $1,100 so far. Now, that doesn't always happen, right? That just does not always happen. We can't count on that. I mean, in no way would try to convince you that that happens all the time. But how cool is it when you're doing a little scanning and you find a good candidate, you take the trade, and the thing just pops, man. There's Paul saying he got in. John got in. All right. So there's some evidence that there's some subscribers. I'm not making this up, right? I actually did send that alert out today, and I actually did take that trade in it. Wow, how cool is that? Al says he's in. Nice. Marilyn's in. Good job. Right. And if any of the other subscribers are here and you were away from your desk, you're probably not, you're probably going, dang it, I missed it. But this one's still got room to go, I think. So, oh, Jared's in. Mitch, nice. Okay, so I really did, as I was practicing for this webinar, just getting, going through the scanning, which is, how I find trades anyway. I found this thing and it was really cool. So thought I'd share that with you. And, this stuff actually works. Again, you don't always hit them just like that. But we did find some last week using this same technique. We found HCA. And went short. This was a bearish setup. We went short here, and that thing tanked, and we got out here and made some really nice fast profit on that. We went short on UTHR last week, and kind of the same move. We got short. This blue line is always where I got in. This is my entry. The red line is where I've trailed my stop. The green line was my target. So got in about a week later, hits my target, right? And we're out of the trade with a nice win. So Jared's asking if I can go over how to do this on Thinkorswim. There's different approaches to scanning. I don't use Thinkorswim. I got some customers who do, and they've taken some of the stuff that I do and they've applied it to TOS. So it can be done, but you got to have some a little bit of chops on Thinkorswim. I'm thinking about getting it and just having it here so I can demonstrate it both ways. But for now, I'm a TradeStation guy. I got TradeStation and I got Ninja. But again, the concepts can be used on any platform. Okay, so those are just some recent scans that we found that were really good. So how do we go, how do we even get to a list? Well, there's several ways you can approach scanning, right? Like in this example, I said, I just came up with a thesis, and it could have been wrong. There may have been no good trades there. But I came up with this idea that said, wow, pharmaceutical, bio, healthcare all got beat down last week. Maybe something's rebounding. And I actually found a phenomenal candidate. So it worked. My thesis, I sorted through 110 stocks really quickly. It only took me, 3 or 4 minutes to find that candidate to confirm it. Man, we got something going here. So that's one way, is just to go a sector. Let me just delete these for now. And let's say there's a sector you're interested in. And there's all kinds of ways to do this, but there's all kinds of just free, super cool tools that you can use. And there's all kinds of different ways. But so here's this website for the select sector, the SPDRs, right? This is very high quality, high volume collection of ETFs, right? Consumer staples, healthcare, real estate, all this kind of stuff. And here's a one-day overview, what went up, what went down, and you can change it from 1 day to 5 days to a month, whatever you want. And so, what's notable today? Oh, energy went down big time, right? And by the way, XLV wasn't down as much. Last week it was the big red bar. So energy went down. That's interesting. Energy's been going up, right? If you've been watching the price of oil, if you've been watching the gas pump, right? Energy's been going up, but maybe people think it's going to roll over. Maybe it's not related to the price of energy. Who cares the reason, right? We're technical traders. Don't care why. XLE was down. Well, what if I wanted to go look for trades in the XLE sector? Well, this website, Spiders, they do a really nice thing for us here. So I can look at this XLE. I can go find the holdings, and they're so nice. They got a whole list of all the companies here that are in this, and they even provide an Excel file, right, with all the symbols. So I can just do this, open up Excel. Here it comes. And here's a list of all the symbols in XLE. And so I just grab these symbols, copy, and now take it over to my scan. Plug those things in and let the indicators run. It's going to take a minute to populate here. Mitch says the owl looks like a momentum indicator. It is. That's exactly what we use the owl for, is momentum. Confirming momentum, and it helps with Elliott wave counts. Okay. So the owl is from Traders Coach, and you see this pink dot is calling out the strongest move in the last 144 price bars, and is suggesting that that might be your impulsive wave. So it's pretty good, very helpful. We can use it to identify waves. We can look for, we want to take a trade when it's turned, when the momentum is turned negative. If we're going short, if it's turned positive, we go long, and it can help look at bullish or bearish divergence. Okay, so here's this energy sector that I just scanned, and again, I can real quickly filter if I'm interested in bearish trades, maybe. That if my theory is, energy's run up and maybe there's some shorts coming, I can look here at, I just clicked this column and sorted, and said, oh, in the energy sector from XLE, right, there are 5 bearish candidates that across the board, all the indicators are bearish, and then there's 2 bullish. And the rest here are neutral. And I can contrast that with my 200-day moving average, how long since it crossed, and how's it doing on the Ichimoku cloud. And TJ Pacman says, do I believe Ben's forecast that the Dow's in a wave 4 further down to go is right? Hey, Bennett was my mentor, and he taught me how to analyze charts. And so, yes, I defer to Bennett, and I'm waiting for a pullback as well. My analysis says at some point we're going to get a pullback too. But you do well to listen to Bennett. He knows what he's talking about, and he's been doing it for decades. All right, so bearish trades here. So what I look at, I go, hey, there's 5 bearish trades. It's been a long time since they crossed the 200. So these have been in long downtrends. So they may not be great candidates. And Gordon's asking who's been. Bennett McDowell is the one who created these indicators that we're looking at. He founded traderscoach.com. So, the pyramids, the owl, all those, and this trade confirmer, that was created by Bennett McDowell. So that is who he is. All right. So these bearish candidates don't have me too excited because of how long they've been in downtrends. I expect that they would be fairly mature downtrends, and I'm more of a swing trader. I am not a trend trader. Although now when I look at it, COP, I actually like it a lot. This is the impulsive move. This would be wave 3 with a simple approach to Elliott wave. This is for, it's been in this, look at this channel that it was in, and it just broke out into new lows. So even though I was a little skeptical, I'm gonna write that one down. COP looks like a phenomenal short. And so for the subscribers, don't be surprised. I got to do a little more research on this, but don't be surprised if that shows up in an alert. And our stop would be about where this red line is. We'd be getting in right about here. My target would be into this Fibonacci retracement zone. It's probably going to come up a little short. You know, what if it stopped at this prior low? So my price target is going to be right where it is, 57.40. How'd you like to get in at 64.70 and take this thing down to 57.40? That'd be a nice move. That is, what? $7, over 10%. So over 10%, and that looks like a very highly probable move. So we found that with this scan. What about the bullish ones? What about APC? Anadarko, there's an acquisition on the table, right? So I would not trade it. And it's up 11% today. That deal is not consummated. Yeah, look at that. Bam, bam. So you want to be careful when there's something like that in play. It can totally fall apart on you and gap way back down. So, but what about PXD? So PXD is bullish. It crossed the 200 7 days ago. It's above the cloud. That could be interesting. And what I see is the impulsive move on PXD is down. Pioneer Natural Resources. This is a retracement, and it looks like it's about to end, and the next move will be down, but it's not ready yet. And Theo's saying, hey, can I show the FANG stocks in a demo? If we get time at the end, again, I wanted to make this a pretty brief one, and the focus here was on scanning, right? So demonstrated here how we could scan based on sector ideas, right? So I did a bio and pharmaceutical sector, and I just did an energy sector, and I just made note of a pretty nice candidate. What's this one? New down. What is this? New Ichimoku clock downtrend. NOV. It seems like I've heard of this. It's in a channel. Big impulsive down, kind of a weak retracement. Now it's in a channel. It is under the cloud. You know, it is down. It is red on the owl here, but yeah, not feeling it on that one. Okay, so what if? So that was sector. So that was a quick way to look at sectors, right? You can also just look at indexes. What if I wanted to check out the Dow? You know, I want to see if there's any good trade candidates in the Dow 30. The Dow 30, of course, has 31 stocks. I just grab the symbols. Here, plug them in. And Theo's saying, what's the name of this scanning software? So I'm using TradeStation, and I'm using the radar screen, which is a function, and this confirmer here is Trade Confirmer from Trader's Coach. Very powerful tool. So here I got the Dow 30, and you know, gee, any bullish stocks here? Well, we got two bearish, Merck and UNH. No surprise, you know, last week healthcare got slaughtered, and then some bullish ones: Apple, Disney, Intel, blah blah blah. And interesting, we can go how many days since they crossed the moving average. We can kind of prioritize based on that. So the long trades, you know, Apple's been up for a while, Disney's been up for a while. You know, I know Apple maybe pulled back and then broke through again. Apple's been in a very long uptrend. This is interesting. 1 day cross for Merck. So it's bearish across the board. It just crossed under the 200-day moving average, and so that's an interesting potential short candidate. Now we just look at it, and you can kind of see the technique here, right? We scan, we narrow it down, and then we go look at the chart. And this way we only have to, you know, we don't have to go look at 30 charts for the Dow. We can kind of prioritize here. So Merck, been in a long uptrend, got hurt with the rest of the healthcare stocks, hit the 200-day moving average, and found a little bit of support. I think that must have been above. Yeah, so I didn't pay attention. Yeah, it's above. So there's actually a conflicting signal. This is all bearish, and this is above the SMA. So not such a good setup after all. Let's look at, well, UNH. We know that whole sector was getting beat up. pulling back up. You know, there may be another rundown on these healthcare. We'll see how it goes. Big impulsive move down, got a bit of a retracement. If it turns again, there might be another shot, but it's not ready for it yet. Okay. So that we talked about how to do a sector. Now we just talked about how to do an index. Let's do one more index just for fun. So this was Dow 30. That's pretty fast, pretty easy. We could also do the NASDAQ 100, and TradeStation has symbol lists already nicely organized. And that's just it. NASDAQ 100 with 104 symbols. It'll take a moment to populate. So while that's crunching the numbers there, any other questions here we can field? Do I have an ELD file of your radar screen? Of this one, of the scanning one? And TJ is saying the pyramids define double bottoms. No, the pyramids identify lower low, lower high, new low. So they're looking for a down leg and an up leg, and then going below that. So it's Dow theory tells us that's how trends move: lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Right. So these pyramids identify lower low, lower high, lower lows, and then Bennett's got a unique algorithm for calculating the ratio of the down leg momentum to the up leg. You can see, you know, green one on uptrends, and the way these pyramids, the way you interpret them is it suggests the potential entry when a pyramid is formed at the apex, and then you would put your stop at the base. And then as a new pyramid is formed, you would trail your stop here, and then as a new one, you trail it. So like in this uptrend, you can see it would be beautiful, right? Take an entry on the first green primary pyramid here, your stop would have been here, then your stop was here, 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 and you finally got stopped out here. That would be a nice move. That's how it works. Yeah, Mitch, I'll take a look. I saw your email right before I logged in. I'll check that out. Check that out, and we'll get you figured out how to get scheduled. All right, let's see if the numbers are in. The numbers in. So this is the NASDAQ 100, and see how quick and easy. You know, we can look at a whole index and identify some bearish candidates and some bullish candidates pretty quickly, and we can prioritize them. Right, I can prioritize based on how many bars since it crossed the 200. And so, looky here, Hasbro is bullish. It's above the 200-day. It's above the HTML cloud. It just crossed over 1 day ago. What's up with Hasbro? Yeah, I'd say it did cross. Right, it had a huge gap yesterday, and then some follow through today. It was probably earnings. So apparently, toys are selling very well. I'm not going to chase that gap. What else do we got here that recently crossed? Bearish, 7 days ago, REGN. The way it crossed with a vengeance, it must be Healthy F Pharmaceutical. So a little late to try and chase that down. And I wouldn't try to, it doesn't have a bullish move yet. So the point here was to demonstrate the scanning technique, to demonstrate the tools. And we did find a couple of good trade ideas. I really like that COP chart. TJ, does ART only work on TradeStation? No, ART works on a wide variety of platforms. Works on TradeStation, it works on Ninja, eSignal, a handful of other ones. Okay. So somebody asked about Forex. Would this technique work on Forex? Sure it would. So we'll get a list of Forex pairs. John says Merck earnings 430, COP2. So that's one of the things I go check. So if earnings are coming up in less than a week, we're probably not going to be taking COP. We're going to have to wait for that. For earnings. Okay, so Forex. Let me grab a list of, I don't have a complete list because I don't trade Forex, but I got a handful of them here. Here's 5 pairs. We got the Aussie US, Euro, the British Pound, and the USD Canadian. Okay, and on a daily interval, they're all neutral. So the trade confirmer is not calling out a trade candidate on a daily interval. But what if you trade shorter time frames? Well, we can change this because this works on any time frame. So let's go to a 10-minute. And that changes things. We have 2 bearish candidates on a 10-minute interval. So the Euro USD and the British Pound USD both have bearish signals. And Ichimoku Cloud is confirming that down on the British Pound. Let's go look at the chart. And go to the 10-minute time frame. And Al will take a look at futures in just a minute. So this is definitely in a bearish trend, isn't it? It has been for a while. That might be a little too late to chase. You got one bearish pyramid here, and it looks like you got another one coming, but boy, it's had some big moves. It might be finding some support, so I would be a little cautious. And that's why you got to come, the tools help you narrow it down. But you got to, you always have to look at the chart and confirm what's going on. So yeah, that's a little late to chase for me. Let's look at that other one. What was the other bearish pair? And it was Euro. So the Euro USD, about the same. Very long, on a 10-minute chart, very long, it's 2 days. Getting a little long in the tooth, so I wouldn't be trying to short it there. But the idea about being able to scan, I think is helpful. So what about futures? So let me grab a list of futures symbols. And same thing, we're just going to put them in here into the scanner. I got it still set on a 10-minute interval. And I got a variety, I've got treasury notes, I got the S&P E-mini, crude oil, NASDAQ, the NQs, some commodities. So we got about 27 different futures symbols listed here. And we can quickly identify 2 bullish on a 10-minute time frame, the dollar futures and soybeans, and looks like 6 bearish on a 10-minute time frame. And again, if you were trading intraday, day trading, you could use this and go down to an appropriate intraday time frame, maybe 1 minute. This is there, it's recalculating based on a 1-minute interval, right? Bullish or bearish signals. Yeah, and Mitch says, how about indexes? Anything that charts with a high, low, open, close, and volume. So we got a bunch of bearish, bunch of bullish here on a 1-minute interval. Okay. So let me change this back to daily. Let me delete these, format. We'll start with daily, okay? All symbols, daily. So somebody mentioned the FANGs, right? So what is that? Facebook, which announced after hours, it popped 5.5%. Apple, Netflix, and Google. There's our FANGs, right? And on a daily chart, daily interval, Apple bullish, Google bullish, Facebook, Netflix, right now neutral. Microsoft announced as well today. Sure, I'll put Amazon in there. bullish. And then again, you would go look at the chart. So Google, so Microsoft announced earnings, and I saw that it was good, and it looks like they popped after hours. Yeah, 2.65. I got it on a 10-minute. So Microsoft popped. Cat announced before the market today, and they didn't do so good. They got hurt a little bit, 3%. Ouch. Cat was looking like a decent long trade, but we waited for earnings, and good thing we did. And there's new information, things change, right? Things totally change. Okay, well, I just wanted to demonstrate this technique and kind of see if you guys were excited about it, in a way that I go about scanning for trades. You can talk all day about it, but I thought it'd be fun to share just some simple techniques. And like I said, using radar screen, the idea of having a table where you can type in symbols, you can type in an interval, and then you can load indicators and then look for your trade setups this way and scan it, sort it, filter it, and get down to a meaningful, manageable list of candidates. I think it's just super powerful. I encounter a lot of traders who seem to focus on the same, the FANGs, or, I got these 5 stocks that I watch, and, how should I trade Micron today? And it's like, well, Micron might be a lousy trade today. I like to scan the entire universe and go find candidates that have phenomenal setups, right? I love finding a company that I never heard of before and finding a great trade setup. And if you weren't here earlier, I showed this one that I found when I was practicing today. I'd never heard of Sunesis Pharmaceuticals before today. I'd never heard about it before 3 hours ago. And now I've got a 14% profit on that thing. So that's pretty fun, huh? So this tool is from, Radar Screen is free, and it's included with TradeStation, and Thinkorswim's got a similar thing, and Ninja's got a similar thing, and MetaTrader has a similar thing. Everybody's got some kind of table you can load indicators and do, filtering. So I use a combination of I wrote this myself, the 200-day moving average, crossover. Ichimoku Cloud is free. It's included on any legitimate platform. And then this Trade Confirmer, that's a commercial piece of software that Traders Coach provides. And I think it's really powerful. I've been using it for quite a long time, and it helps me find really, really good trades. And so if you're interested in that, my good friends at Traders Coach have put together a pretty nice discount, very nice discount for you, for my customers, folks who are tuned into my, what I'm doing here. And I'm good friends with both Bennett and Jean. Bennett's the founder, Jean's his wife. They run the company together. So here's a link. If you'd like to find out more and maybe check into getting that Trade Confirmer software, here's a page, and they're offering 50% off to y'all. And I think that's going to run through this weekend. So not forever. And after that, it'll go back to the normal price. And, just one trade, right? I literally found this trade today using the scanner, the Trade Confirmer, just like I showed you. And in, hour and 45 minutes, it was up $1,000 based on a $50,000 account. Now that ain't going to happen every time, right? It's not going to happen every day. But it sure is fun when you hit a home run like that. But I got other trades open here that I've found the same way. We're long on XPO, $1,200 profit there. We're long on DO. I told you we just closed a handful of other trades, healthcare related. So it's pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. And I hope you found this helpful. Ken says TradeStation not available in Canada. Interactive Broker, I don't think has something like this. Interactive Broker, from my understanding, is more about a data feed and orders than. I don't believe they have the a world-class charting platform or an analysis platform. So You know, in Canada, you could certainly use NinjaTrader, I believe, to do all your analysis and then place your orders with whatever broker you want. It's nice to have your brokerage and your chart and your platform integrated, but you don't have to. You can do analysis on, say, Ninja. Ninja's free, and the indicators will work there. You know, I'm not sure who else runs in Canada. And John is asking, is that $9.99 for the ART software as well? That offer is for the Trade Confirmer, which is the tool I was demonstrating in Radar Screen here. This tool right here, which will read all the ART signals and combine them, right? But this doesn't put it on your chart. Okay, I'm just scanning through the questions here, see if there's anything else. I said I wanted to keep it, you know, definitely under an hour. I was trying to shoot for half an hour, but we're having some fun here. Again, I wanted to show these tools and offer some insight in just how to approach scanning. And again, if you're interested in that Trade Confirmer tool from Traders Coach, that's a pretty good offer they put together for folks who are in this webinar and who are my customers and who are following along. So if they're interested, I certainly encourage you to check it out. I use it in my trading. I have for a number of years, and I think it's really, really valuable. So there we go. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. I will send out a link with the recording later, but I'm going to go ahead and stop.